Let's just listen to a song that has really taken over social media.
Amani haina gharama. Peace is priceless. I have seen the suffering of communities.
What is the problem with this?
You don't believe in
I am not going to withdraw what I have said.
Unaona guys, yesterday kulikuwa na masubarus zilikuwa zimekuwa deployed upande wa Wamunyoro, upande wa Karen. Unaona? Kwa makao ya Rigathi Gachagua yote. Na hii ni baada ya Rigathi Gachagua kuachilia interview, strong interview pale kwa Obina TV. Obina TV hosted Rigathi Gachagua. Na hapo ndo Rigathi Gachagua aliweza kuexpose hii serikali ya William Samoei Arap Ruto. Ukiona William Ruto ana deploy Subarus, ana deploy police officers kila mahali. Boma yote ya Rigathi Gachagua walikuwa wamedeploy police officers. Unaona watu, but I don't know walikuwa wanataka kumarrest ama walikuwa wanataka kumabduct. Hiyo ndio kitu inaendelea kushangaza wa Kenya. Unaona watu, so kwa hii video sijaribu kuswipe up. Nataka ujione maajabu ambayo inaendelea kufanyika hapa nchini Kenya. Mtu wa kwanza ni Ndengwa Njiru said this one: to all media houses, kindly be informed that the DCI has taken hostage to all Rigathi Gachagua's boat at Karen and at Wamunyoro. They are currently manhunting him. We are yet to informed of the reason. At Citizen TV Kenya, at KTN News, Natembeya, K24 TV, Kameme TV Kenya and TV47. Unaona watu wangu, Rigathi Gachagua atakuwa na expose what are the main reasons for William Ruto to arrest him. But for us, we need to understand that baada ya Rigathi Gachagua kuexpose huyu jamaa pale Wamunyoro, wakati ambapo Bina TV alikuwa amemhost, then William Ruto alijump completely. Unaona watu wangu, alijump completely. And Stephen Kalonzo said this one: This intimidation of the opposition must stop. Mr. Ruto, if you want to arrest Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, do it at the right way. Follow the law. We are prepared to produce DP Gachagua before the DCI Kenya. Please stop abducting Kenyans and their leaders. Abduction are primitive and cowardly. Unaona watu wangu, William Ruto ni muoga. And the more William Ruto anaendelea kumpiga Rigathi Gachagua design kama hii, the more Rigathi Gachagua anaendelea kupata support. Unaona watu wangu, anaendelea kupata sympathy kwa upande wa Wakenya. Unaona watu wangu, don't forget wakati Rigathi Gachagua aliachilia hii interview, Oscar Sudi, Murkomen, Interior CS, aliachilia bombshell warning Rigathi Gachagua. But ensure my like video ili kuonyesha kwamba una support hii channel. Sikiza mambo.
The goalpost. They don't want us to discuss development because I want a development record. They don't want us to discuss about projects ya serikali because there is nothing they did for the 2 years. What are they doing? They want us to discuss about elections 2027. What are they doing? They want us to talk about stealing of elections. Sasa, wewe mwenyewe sio candidate na umeanza kulia. You are not even a candidate for that position in the first place. So ngoje wanaume wenye watashindana 2027 waongee wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Wewe umeshaanza kulia, you are not running, you are not a candidate, you are complaining about elections that is not yet there. It is not fair for our country that we have people who are very short memory. Na mimi nataka niwaambie viongozi, kama umewahi kukaa kwa ofisi na wewe unataka kuongoza taifa, contain yourself, contain your temperament, collect yourself, jitafute na urelax.
But let's just listen to a song that has really taken over social media. The song you are singing to it.
That's the rallying call now in Kenya, that President William Ruto will serve for one term because of his incompetence, being unable to manage the health system, and failing what was there before, what was NHIF, bringing SHE and SHA, which is not working, a failed university funding model, bringing down the economy, hurting and maiming Kenyans as president, overseeing a government that executes abduction in his watch. And for those many things, William Ruto will serve for one term. That's the rallying call. Towards the election of 2027, we want William Ruto to serve for one term. I'm a member of parliament elected on UDA. But my biggest regret is that as UDA, we sponsored William Ruto to be the presidential candidate. We failed. It was our mistake. But it can only be a mistake when it's repeated twice. So I ascribe to the one-term policy going forward and slogan. So we are saying William Ruto will serve for one term. And we have reasons. Sometimes he says that we attack him and we talk about him in all the meetings. He is the reason why we're saying one term is because there are issues that he has failed this country. He committed to complete all pending projects in assumption when he assumed office in 1.5 years. Okay. He has not done.
Okay.
Yes, we have been voicing voices all over saying one term. But I think we need to model ourselves and unify opposition if at all we are going to defeat William Ruto. And you may make a lot of noise, but politics is a strategy. We are saying one term. Who is going to send Ruto home? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. But before then, based on the interests of the country, I would like to ask the opposition to tone down for the interest of the country. But the president should walk the talk of delivering the developments he promised to Kenyans,
Okay, so
and listen to Kenyans. Yes.
So do you agree with him that the president will be a one-term president, according to the way you think?
It will depend on what he's going to do the next 2.5 years.
If an election is
If
to be
he
held
delivers
right
all his manifesto, maybe Kenyans will change. But at the moment, I would tell you exactly, things are not good with Kenyans the way they are talking. But there's still time to deliver all the manifesto.
You haven't answered the question, Mr.
Yes.
If an election were to be held today, would the president be re-elected?
No. That is the bitter truth.
And you support him?
That is the bitter truth. I'm telling you, the ground is not stable for president at the moment.
Okay.
But I think he has got a lot of time to fix issues. Just the way Onesimus and I myself, elected leaders, would want to be given time to deliver in our constituencies. I think it is only justifiable for Kenyans also to give the president time to deliver. And the best strategy for opposition right now, it is to tone down and strategize without exposing their weaknesses and coming up with proper manifesto, which is better than for William Ruto.
Well, I think I will ask, how did we get into this mess? And then I will say, we got into this mess because the political responses are inadequate. President Ruto was campaigning from 2017 when he was the deputy president for Uhuru Kenyatta. He got the opportunity with a very narrow win of about 200, maybe 300,000 votes.
233,000
votes. Now, when he came to office as the president, leading a country that is now close to 57 million, governance dictates that when you're forming government, there are 3 principles you must adhere to. One is having a very lean government, very small government, as in cabinet ministers, secretaries, and those, the top ones. Because the government of Kenya existed since 1963, so we almost 62 years old. So we have enough technocrats running departments. Government is not run by the president. That's one. 2, we need, competent people in offices. That's one. 3, most importantly, which is one of the first principles of good governance, is everyone abiding the rule of law and becoming equal before the rule of law. In Kenya, even in law, there is iniquity. The guy who steals chicken is taken to court. Is taken to court because that's the process we have. Unfortunately, we cannot take guns like Libya or Somalia. And when you take him to court, the law is the law. That's why they call it the ass. So a person is jailed, and because he's jailed and poor, he can't pay like 5,000 or 2,000. So you see, so this is a country that is led by a group of elites, and I said this on Spice and other, forums. Kenya's problem started with Moi and Kenyatta. They created an elite system. So President Ruto failed as a person to sit down and slow down. When he came to power, he was, talking, running in top of rooftop. That's not what he was supposed to do. If you want to run this country, you consume data from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics.
Okay.
Then from there now, you plan for the country. So if you go to their website, there is issues of health, that President Ruto has failed Kenyans, and I'm disappointed as a Kenyan.
And you agree with them that he made...
I don't agree with them.
What do you,
I don't.
What do you mean?
Politicians cannot choose. In my mother tongue, they say you can't have milk on this side and water on this side and expect not to mix. If you elected, I have a card of UDA, it's called a leader. When I was at Lavington office, I saw how things were running. I'm a guy who believes in processes. If the party was disorganized from that time, and the people around the office were asking for money for even to go and access the president, that was a red flag for me.
Okay.
So I left. So what we're saying is, when UDA came to power, it was just like Kanu, it was just like previous coalitions. There was nothing much interesting. Ruto was, accumulating wealth. He has never had industries. So he was just like any other person doing business with Kenya. Now he went to State House. Instead of thinking about rural Kenya, 69.7% of Kenyans, about 38 million, live in rural Kenya.
Okay.
So we are saying the president failed himself
And has failed Kenya.
and has failed Kenya.
Okay. Your party leader, belong, or do you still belong to UDA?
I'm elected on UDA. I disagree on a number of many things. An impeachment that overseen without the approval of the highest organ in the party, the National Delegates Conference, unfulfilled promises, and for those reasons, I will not engage further in the future with the party in the manner in which they have been operating. I like the DCP party. I ascribe to a number of things that they hold. So in future, I will consider engagements with that political party, and of course the party leader is somebody I believe in. So, but I can assure you, I'll not vote for William Ruto. I will not be in the same party with William Ruto. He will not be the presidential candidate that I will support.
Okay.
Yes.
In 1994, Raila Odinga resigned from his seat as member of parliament, I think for Lang'ata or so, Lang'ata MP, and sought a re-election to send a statement that I'm not
Fed up.
I'm fed up with this thing. Why can't you take that step?
Once we have the IBC, we will make decisions that are appropriate. So we're waiting for the approval of the current. Personally, whether William Ruto has Oscar Sudi there or anybody, no problem. Whoever he has for the chair or the members, the election will be determined at the polling stations. And nobody can alter the results of a polling station. So we are ready for William Ruto at the ballot. A number of us, members of parliament, will make key decisions once we have the IBC in place. Because even resigning now, there will be no election. Banisa has not had a member of parliament.
Almost 2 years.
Actually more than 2 years.
No.
One of the most unconstitutional things that have ever happened. A number of wards, 15 of them, now I think 17, because of the Samburu guy and also the Kajiado MCA that we lost.
Yeah.
And Nairobi
Yes, and even Nairobi.
Yeah.
So we have almost 20 then in this case.
by elections.
Yeah, so at the point when IBC is constituted, I would want us to have the same conversation, but we will make historic decisions.
Okay.
Yes.
Before I move it to them,
Yes.
your party leader, there are reports that he was almost arrested today.
Yeah, the second deputy president, I've seen cars here and there. I don't know whether it's true. My conversations with him, he has not told me he's been arrested yet. But there have been rumors. Murkomen has been saying things here and there. I would want to know if they want to arrest him for what. You know, what's the issue? Why do you want to arrest the deputy president?
You know the issue.
Which issue?
he made some statements that were
concerning the IEBC.
Yeah,
now, I do not want to. First of all, I believe in peace. I'm a student and I own a Bachelor of Peace and Conflict Resolution. So I'm a proponent of peace, and I believe in politics that is not divisive. But I want to read the end result. What was he saying? He said simple. The commissioners of the IBC cannot change the results. Whoever it is that will oversee the election, he cannot do anything. He cannot force William Ruto to become the president.
Okay.
The election will be determined by the voters at the polling stations, and all they have to do is to tally the results.
Okay. We have a bite of Murkomen and the deputy president now saying that they can even arrest him for stoking public emotions that could take us back to 2007. Very unfortunate.
Again, I would insist, you can express your views without hurting a brother or a sister. In this matter, I'm just beseeching the former deputy president actually to cease from inciting Kenyans. To me, based on his argument and what he pronounced, I think there was sort of incitement in Kenya. And what we need is we let's wait for general elections. The best thing is to go back to the room, address yourself, formulate a good manifesto, do a good strategy, but you will not defeat the president by going all over saying one term and you don't have a proper manifesto. You will not win 2027 elections by going and calling somebody a killer and you don't have justification on the same. There are so many things that was stage managed when we had abductions during the Gen Z protest.
You say there were people who faked
of course
abductions.
No, abductions were there. Kenyans.
Unaona watu wangu, ni baada ya hapo, hii ndio statement ya Rigathi Gachagua iliweza kukwaza William Samoei Arap Ruto. Sikiza.
All that money, because it's not accounted, there is no way you account that money, is given to NIS, withdrawn in cash and given to William Ruto for politics. The last time he was here in the mountain, he used over 1 billion shillings. NIS has money, but that money has been directed to William Ruto.
Can you verify this money?
But where is the money coming from? Because I ask you, this money is given in Harambes. It's not in any budget.
And maybe he saved it.
How? His salary is known.
No, not salary, farming, business, other businesses.
No. What farming is that? We are all in farming. What kind of farming that would generate 100 million every week? You know, if you look at the amount of money that is being spent to bribe leaders, to bribe voters, this is the money from the National Treasury, siphoned through the National Intelligence Service, and given to William Ruto for politics. And there is nothing else going on in the country, by the way. Exchequer issues are a problem. We don't collect enough money every week. So whatever money that is available is given priority to the National Intelligence Service. That money is given to William Ruto for politics. And I can tell you that is why you find pending bills are not being paid. Today, as we speak, teachers are suffering in schools. They have money for capitation has not been released. You know, teachers, the head teachers cannot pay for supplies. They are almost being auctioned. Help, university students are at home. Health is not working. Yet William Ruto is busy with his principal assistant and his MPs in Harambes every day, 20 million, 30 million. This is the money that is the taxpayers' money that is being channeled through the National Intelligence Service to the president, and this is the money that is being used to do politics. The president is busy making deals and making money. He has no time to verify intelligence and to find out what is happening in the country. So he is a consumer of what Haji gives him, and he likes it that way because it's easier. He gets a report, he reads and says it's okay. But you can see, you know, how embarrassing it is. When abductions started, and we told him the abductions, he asked Haji, he said there are no abductions. The president went on TV and said there are no abductions. When everybody knew abductions are taking place, and there were videos showing people being abducted, He was told by Nuruddin there are no abductions. He said, fine. He went on another day, he said, we will stop the abductions. So people asked, if you will stop them, who will you stop? It means you know they were going on. The other day, there was a president of a certain country that came, I think last week. And in one of the questions he was asked about the abductions, he said, no, everybody who was abducted has been reunited with the family, yet many people have disappeared. This president is clueless. He's so embarrassing to the country.
So, and yesterday, the Professor Kithure Kindiki warned Rigathi Gachagua in Busia County. Skiza.
Rais William Ruto ya kwamba uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka 2027 utakuwa wa huru na haki. As government, we will go out of our way to make sure that the election and the people's choices for all seats, the election is peaceful, democratic, free and fair, because that is what the Constitution demands of us. And I also want to ask the people who are prophesying violence to warn them that our country has gone through very painful moments in the past because of political violence. And we would not want our country to go back there. Utterances by leaders from any political persuasions prophesying violence, those utterances are unpatriotic and they threaten the security of our nation. Mimi nimepata bahati, nimekuwa na nafasi nyingi za uongozi. Unajua watu wengi wameingia uongozi juzi na wanafikiri hii mambo ni rahisi. Hii mambo ya uongozi ni mambo ngumu. And sometimes experience is a very good thing. Mimi nimekuwa senator, nimekuwa kiongozi wa wengi kule Senate, nimekuwa deputy speaker for years, na nimekuwa waziri wa usalama wa taifa. Na hii miaka miwili imepita kabla nikuwe deputy president, nimekuwa interior minister. Na nimeona changamoto jingi ambazo nchi yetu inapitia za kiusalama. Kule Lamu kwa sababu ya Al-Shabaab, Northeastern Al-Shabaab, North Rift bandits. And I want to tell you, fellow Kenyans, good people, watu ya Teso, peace, stability is priceless. Amani haina gharama. Peace is priceless. I have seen the suffering of communities because of banditry, because of Al-Shabaab terrorists. And in 2007, those who are old enough, you know what our country went through because of irresponsible leadership. And I want to say without fear of contradiction, we cannot allow incitement to violence by any leader, not now, not in the future, because this country learned the hard lesson in 2007. Na wale wanahubiri vita waambiwa ya kuwa hakutakuwa na vita. I promise you there will be no war. There will be no violence. There will be no violence in 2007. There will be no violence at any other time in the future. We learned our lessons, never again. Nchi yetu itakuwa ya amani, tutakuwa watu ya demokrasia, na tutaendelea na mambo ya uchaguzi, lakini mambo ya vita haitawezekana tena. Ndugu wa nchi moja, wa taifa moja kupigana kwa sababu ya mambo ya siasa na uchaguzi. We will not allow it to happen. Na hakuna tofauti ya wale wanahubiri na kutabiri vita na wale magaidi wa Al-Shabaab na wale bandits wa North Rift wote ni hatari kwa usalama wa taifa. Anybody preaching violence and prophesying violence and threatening war and violence is as dangerous as the bandits of the North Rift and as the terrorists of the Lamu Enclave and Northern Kenya. Those who have made our people suffer and shed blood. So we will not allow. Hiyo mambo ingine ya siasa wafanye. Wakitaka kutusi serikali, watusi ni sawa. Kama hiyo ndio style yao. Wakitaka kutofautiana na rais ni sawa. Lakini mambo ya vita, my friend, not in Kenya. Try elsewhere. Not in Kenya. Na umejua nimekuambia mimi nimekuwa interior minister. I know what I'm saying. We cannot allow our country to go backwards. Haiwezekani. Mtu apige siasa yake aseme ile ako na tofauti na rais, ako na tofauti na serikali, ako na tofauti na mtu mwingine. Akimaliza hiyo mambo yake ya kuleta mambo tofauti, aende nyumbani kwake alale, akuje tena kesho aendelee. Na
mambo yamechemuka, and that's why unaona upande wa 98 FM, na ndio maana unaona kuna baadhi, unaona watu kusoma mambo yamechemuka, and sikiza jinsi ambavyo mambo yameanza kuchemuka hapa nchini Kenya. Sikiza. Unaona guys, so mambo yameanza kuchemuka hapa nchini Kenya. So guys, your comments uko niambia kwenye comment section, and show me like video na subscribe ili kuonyesha kwamba una support hii channel. Siku njema, bye bye.